We are going to see about dry sump lubrication system, because what is the difference between wet sump and dry sump is sump. We all know what is sump. Sump is the place where engine, the bottom of the engine, there will be some place where the oil get collected. Okay, so each and every engine, even for our bike engines, car engines and all, there will be at the bottom there will be a place where the places will be like this. It will be like this. So here the oil get collected. These are the collected oils, like this it will get collected. Okay, so what is the difference for wet sump and dry sump is, in wet sump lubrication system, always the oil gets settled in the sump only. But in dry sump lubrication system, there is a difference. The difference, what difference is, the oil gets sucked by the scavenger pump and it get collected in the reservoir, not in the sump. Okay, so this is the main difference for wet sump and dry sump lubrication system. Okay, so that's why with the oil get drained periodically by the, because it gets sucked by the scavenger pump. So that's why there won't be enough oil in the sump. That's why it is called dry sump. The oil gets dried. That's why it is called dry sump lubrication system. So there are two types of lubrication system. One is wet sump lubrication system, and another one is dry sump lubrication system. Only difference is, in dry sump lubrication system, oil gets sucked by the scavenger pump and it gets stored in reservoir, whereas in wet sump lubrication system, the oil will be stored in the sump only. After after cooling the engine, it will get stored in the sump only. Okay, so here we can see the image of this dry sump lubrication system. Here this is the engine part. So here we have the engine part. The main priority of this lubrication system is to cool the engine, while because there will be lot of moving parts in the engine, and because of the combustion taking place in the engine, the parts will get heated up, and also because of the friction also it will get heated up. So what a lubrication system need to do is, it need to cool the engine and lubricate the, or it need to cool all the engine parts inside the casing. So the engine parts get cooled, and after cooling the engine parts, the oil need to move towards the sump. So here we have the oil tank, or we can say it as a sump. From the sump, the scavenger, what the scavenger will do means, it will suck. Here the scavenger will be like this. This is the scavenger. Here it will be like this. We have a pipe connection. So in the scavenger, what it will do, it will suck the oil. So the oil gets sucked like this. Oil will enters into the scavenger region like this, and it will move on to the reservoir, or here there will be reservoir, or it will move to the uh, engine part. After getting filtered and after getting cooled, it will move to the engine part. Okay, so now we will see the what are all parts in the dry sump lubrication system. We will be having an oil tank, then a scavenger pump, then an oil tank vent, then oil cooler, oil temperature gauge, and oil pressure gauge, and also the engine breather. These are the parts in the lubrication system. So many, all reciprocating engines and turbine engines, they will use this dry sump lubrication system only, because of the um, easiest cooling system or lubrication system. That's why they are using this dry sump lubrication system. And the oil gets supplied, as I told earlier itself, the oil is supplied from the tank to the engine. And we all know, when the transferring something from a lower level to a higher level, we need some external device. The external device here, we are using the external device as pump. The pump will pump the oil from the, or it will suck the oil from the tank, and it will get it pumps the oil to the engine. So after the main um, work of this oil is, it need to lubricate the systems inside the engine. Okay, so for that part, we have a scavenger pump. The scavenger pump, it will collect the oil from the sump, then it passes the oil to the reservoir tank. After passing the oil to the reservoir tank, it will get it is sucked, it is get passed to the filter. So what is the use of filter? Even I can explain that. A filter means it need to filter the, or it needs to separate the foreign particles which get collected in the or the dust which get collected in the oil, because after the routine uh, process, what will happen means some grease, some sort of foreign objects will get collected in the oil. So if this foreign particles if there is no filter means the foreign objects or dust particles and all, it will move to the engine and engine parts, and because of the engine motion, the engine parts may get damaged, or the casing may get damaged. So in order to minimize that problems and all, or to mitigate the problems, what we need is we need to separate the foreign particles or dust particles collected in the oil. So we use some filters. Okay. And mainly then we have after the filtering and all, we have a uh, cooling system, and then it will get passed to the engine. So in a small aircraft and all, maybe for one or two radial engine aircrafts and all, we have one sump only, or one we will have a oil tank. Simply they will have some oil tank, or some single engine bike engines and all, we will be using only sump. So, but for multi-engine aircrafts, each engine has its own lubrication system and own independent lubrication system. That's why I mentioned here. So, in multi-engine aircrafts and all, each engine is supplied with oil from its own complete and independent system. So, mainly the units which are giving this system processes, one is the sump, next is the pump, pressure pump, oil pressure pump, then the scavenge pump, then oil cooler, then oil cooler control valve, then oil tank vent, and necessary tubings, and temperature and pressure indicators, because we need to um, um, gradually we need to check the pressures inside the pressure of the oil, because if the pressure and temperature is high, means we need to cool the oil before it gets passed to the engine, otherwise it will damage the parts of the engine. So for that purpose, we are periodically we will check the pressure and temperature values, and it will get the pressure and temperature readings are displayed in the cockpit session of our aircraft and all that, all you know. So this is the main thing we have for lubrication systems and all. So this is the main image of this lubrication system. So I hope you understand this lubrication system. So now we can move